What's up, guys? Abstract Tiger Productions here. I am Chris.
I'm Drew.
And we are here with a post-series review of Star Wars Visions. Okay? For those of you, this is a thing because so much has been going on, and my workload is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And between the two of us, we just kind of figured, hey, we could watch this on our own and do just kind of like a post-series review of the entirety of it. So we'll be touching on a lot of things, and this will be spoilers.
Yes.
So if you have not seen any of the episodes at all, what are you doing here?
Right.
Go away. Come back whenever you watched all 9 episodes, and then you can come and join us on this conversation. We'll sit here and wait.
But not right now. So
I was gonna wait.
I mean,
are you back? Okay, good.
Put up the little SpongeBob 6 months later.
3,000 years later. Are you done yet? We're still waiting.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't hear any difference between your normal voice and that. Little age humor. I'm sorry. You're gonna cut that. I know. I tried. It was an attempt.
All right. Well, let me just start off. Let's just start off with just general blanket statements about the entire series.
Okay.
Then as we go on, we can get into a little bit more specifics. We'll try to keep this down a little bit because we can go forever.
Right.
And we only have limited time on that.
Yeah.
So overall,
9 episodes.
9 episodes. There was 9 episodes.
Yes.
Overall, I enjoyed most of them.
Agreed.
Excuse me. There were a couple that were kind of like, okay, that was interesting. But overall, I would say I would give this about an 85% good rating.
Okay.
That's just my personal thing. That's not reflective on anybody else. It's just my personal thing. I mean, some of these art styles and stuff like that, I mean, not necessarily bad. It's just I found maybe just a tad distracting at points.
Yeah.
Or maybe just on a couple of them a little bit over the top.
Right.
But overall, it was a fun little mini series that they did for the most part. So if they decided to do more, I would most likely do a watch. I would watch more of them.
Right.
Especially if they get more diverse, a little bit more of the. I know a few of the animation studios. Let's get the terminology right. Did multiple episodes in this little run.
I know
Trigger
one
being
did
one
too.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't remember what the other one was. I know Trigger was the bigger, the one I remember the most.
Yeah.
But I would love to see some variations on maybe in say the Akira Toriyama's wheelhouse, what they would do.
Right.
I think it's Shueisha or something like that nature. A lot of them, maybe some of them a little bit more. I guess maybe that could be a little bit more too mainstream, I suppose, because they do not only the Dragon Ball, they've done the Dragon Ball series, minus GT because that was completely different and
right.
Toriyama had absolutely nothing to do with it. And then there's the other Shonen Jump style. You had One Piece and Naruto. I'd love to see.
I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking
that.
I wanted to see a One Piece Star
style,
Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we did
Luffy
get was very good. Probably, if like I said, if they do more, I would love to see, so maybe some of the more, because there are some of the bigger ones. I mean, yeah, you can give these little smaller animation studios the time to shine or whatever. But some of the bigger ones, you can go all out and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's just kind of my initial, blanket statement over the entire series. What do you think?
Yeah, so I'm on the same page with you. I would say out of 9 episodes, there was 2 that I really, really liked. There was 2 that I didn't really care for, and the rest of them were just like in the middle. I agree with you 100%. The One Piece animation is that one style that I didn't see. I saw on one episode it was, and I've never seen My Hero, but I got a My Hero vibe from it.
I think I know which one you're referring to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if their animation studio had any part in this. Maybe it did. Maybe somebody in the comments can put down there, hey, they did it or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe I know it's completely wrong. Maybe somebody did from that, but there was some of the little bit more stylized, more superhero-esque, I guess you could say, or has that more shonen jump feel to them. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah. So, so 2 were like up there. 1, I didn't really care for it. I could have survived with 8 episodes instead of 9. Sorry for all the people that liked it. But no, if they do a season 2, I would love to see what other animators would be interested now that they've seen the popularity.
Oh, could you imagine a Studio Ghibli?
Oh. Ooh.
Or Ghibli.
Ooh, yeah.
Whatever the proper pronunciation. I've heard both.
Yeah.
But anyways,
that would be awesome.
I know it would be probably the most pretty to look at.
It would be the most pretty, and it would probably also be the most harshly criticized.
Oh yeah.
Because you don't mess it up. Like, if you're gonna do this, you do this. But there's no going back.
Yeah. You don't halfway do it, but I mean, what?
But like Spirited Away
Ghibli, I mean,
yeah.
Do they really do anything halfway?
No, absolutely. Spirited Away or Howl's Moving Castle Star Wars would be awesome. I feel you 100%.
Howl's Moving AT-AT.
We got that in Mandalorian, the Bryce Dallas Howard episode. But yeah, sort of, yes. Yeah, the biggest thing that caught me was they did things with, and I understand they're coming from like superhero shows and things of that sort, where Star Wars has been kind of cohesive with its use of the Force and lightsabers and stuff. There's some stuff they did that I'm just like, I don't know if this enhances Star Wars or if it waters it down a little bit, because it almost makes, like, it cheapens the Force by making certain characters do certain things. Another thing that they did that I thought was really cool was for the English dub.
Yes. And
the voices they got.
Yes, that's the one that I watched. For those of you who know, I watched the dub version.
Yeah, I watched the dub version as well.
Okay, just to get that out there. There's nothing wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with the sub version. But, that way I don't have to read. It's just a little easier for me, personally.
Well, when I started recognizing the voices, I was like, they went all out on getting some of these voices. I don't know if you were watching the cast lists pop up, but
at the time I was watching, I think I was just kind of pounding through them at the time. I didn't get to see. I know I did recognize some of the voices. I was like, oh, hey, I recognize that guy, like James Hahn.
Yeah, James Hahn. Immediately, the elder.
I was just like, oh no, Duck Papa's Goose Daddy is not, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
For those of you who have watched Kung Fu Panda, you know exactly what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Goose Daddy. Okay.
He's also in my favorite thing that James Hahn's been in recently was R.I.P.D. with Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds.
Wow, I haven't seen that at
all. And he played Ryan Reynolds' a live persona, and so it's just
Oh, great!
It's
James
so bad.
Hong trying to
James
impersonate, Ronald Reynolds. That's
James Hong impersonating Ryan Reynolds, impersonating James Hong, hitting on his wife. Because he's like, oh, I'm back to life. I can talk to my wife. And this old man just walks up and starts like trying to hit on her. It's just it's a terrible movie. Terrible movie. Kevin Bacon's in it too.
Gosh. Yeah. The last thing I say the last thing. One of the last. I mean, I have really knew other than Kung Fu Panda in that series was he played as Morgan in Rebels.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of the two things that I really know him from.
I'm more familiar with his live action apparently. Okay, so you said you are 85% on board with it. I'm about the same. Do you have specific episodes?
Yeah, there's probably about 3 that I enjoyed the most out of them. The first one being the very first episode, the duel.
Yeah, the duel.
Yeah, that was with the all black and white with little tidbits of color just dotted everywhere. It was very much done into that old Kurosawa style.
Yes.
Definitely an homage to his movies and stuff like that, being obviously black and white because that's all he had because he was before color. Or if he wasn't before color, he just didn't have the budget for color.
Yeah.
Whichever the case may have been. Because I know here in the States, the first color movie was Wizard of Oz. If I remember correctly. That was in 1936 or 38?
38.
38, okay. I knew it was one of those two. I could not remember.
Yeah.
And Kurosawa was in 1950s.
Yeah.
So it could have just been that he just didn't have the budget for color. But regardless, it had that feel, and I liked the subversion that they had for the protagonist.
Yes.
And the shock on the basically the outlaws, bandits, bandit leader, just kind of like, wait a minute, how, you're a Jedi? No, never said that.
Yeah.
I was like, so which kind of this guy was a former Sith at some point, and then just kind of turned to be a Sith hunter. Because I like that scene when he opens up, he basically he destroys the saber to get the crystal out of the bandit leaders.
Yeah.
Bandit leaders. Yeah, I guess that's what she was.
Yeah.
Bandit leader. She had one sick fro, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally.
Reminded me of not just, the Kurosawa, but I don't know if you've seen Afro Samurai.
I haven't seen Afro Samurai, but I got more Boondocks with it. The little boy with the afro.
Yes.
I got more Boondocks with it, but I have not seen Afro Samurai.
Afro Samurai.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
So is the reimagining of Samurai Jack after the 5-year disappearance or whatever.
Well, it was the final season.
Oh, is that what that was?
What it was.
Okay.
It was the final season.
I thought it was someone remade it with a different animation.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope. Gennady Tartakovsky was actually, because of the fans clamoring so much, somebody finally paid attention and said, okay, fine, here's money, finish the series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it had that flavor to it, the afro, but the fight choreography was great in that.
Oh, absolutely.
And that umbrella of lightsabers was
like,
okay, that's a little over the top, but okay.
Yeah, and they use that. They use that in the. Stop that. They use that in the trailer. I was like, "Chick has crazy lightsaber." That's my first note on that episode. The reverse grip ignition of the lightsaber. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Kinda. Yeah. I mean, now which one are you referring to?
The protagonist.
Okay. Well,
when he pulls it out like this
here, yes.
Yeah.
And it was like, I mean, he's like drawing it like a samurai.
Yeah. That's why I was like reverse grip. It's just it was instead of it being like this and then you activate it. He was like, he was.
It's like it's always active, and he just like
that's what I'm saying.
It.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
The fourth boil of the pot, and then it was a little bit of a nod to R2 in Return of the Jedi shooting the lightsaber to Luke.
Oh yeah.
On Jabba's yacht.
Sort of, but instead he was using like something that very very similar to whistling birds.
Yeah.
Which he didn't see more R2, but more like Chopper.
Yeah,
because he straight up murdered those people.
Yeah. All right.
The second episode was the this is not necessarily in the order that my favorite. The second one was the one where the Padawan senses the disturbance in the Force, and they go to the planet. It's him and his master, and they have
the Elder.
James Hahn. Yes,
the Elder.
Yes.
Episode 7.
The James Hahn episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so good.
Made a very good bad guy.
Dude had a Wakizashi for a lightsaber. I thought that was the coolest thing.
He had two of them.
Yeah, he was dual wielding Wakizashis, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
And the story and the reasoning behind it is just, it was very interesting because it ended up being just like these two old masters, and the poignancy of it was like the one thing that you can't really escape is time.
Yeah, such a good one too.
Yeah.
Did you see the voices on that, other than James Hong?
No, I did not.
Okay, so the master was David Harbour.
Oh wow! Okay.
Red Guardian.
I didn't recognize him without his Russian accent.
Yeah, and then
Red Guardian.
Dan was Jordan Fisher, who played Bart in this last season of The Flash.
I have not watched the last season of The Flash. I have not watched since middle of season 6, which was after the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover.
Okay,
I have not seen it since.
I thought you made it to the lightning swords. Okay.
What?
Never mind. Spoilers. Let's just say some stuff happens when you come back from Crisis that's a little wonky.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, but
they use this in the marketing. It's in the trailer and all that kind of stuff. You know about Nora?
Yes, yes.
Something happens, and Nora has a brother, and it's Bart, and he's played by Jordan Fisher.
Impulse. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can see that because originally in the comics, Barry Allen and Barry and Iris, they have twins.
Yes.
Yeah. Dawn and Dawn. D-O-N and D-A-N-W. I think that's the way they did it in the comics, but obviously that was different in this, the Arrowverse, which is not the Arrowverse anymore because Arrow's gone, so it's the Flashverse. CW-verse, yes.
Yes, that is the Greg Berlanti way of pronouncing it, and Stephen Amell came out and said, without Arrow, it doesn't exist, so I'm not calling it that.
Anyways, so
he got in trouble for those comments.
My third one was the Ninth Jedi.
That one's so good.
Yes. And I liked the idea. Now in the actual main canon line, whenever you find your crystal, it's in tune with your force.
Yeah.
So whenever you put it in the saber, it's going to be that color, regardless. And if you hand your saber, say, for example, when Han picked up Luke's, it was the Skywalker family saber.
Yeah.
I keep calling it that because it's not Luke's. It's technically Anakin's.
On Hoth for the Tauntaun.
Yes, It did not change color because, not
the lightsaber's that color.
Yeah, that's the color of the crystal that's inside.
Right.
Because it was in tune with Anakin's way of the Force.
Right.
And even when Luke wielded it, it still remained blue.
Right.
But having that obviously took place like way into the future. Like the Jedi, the Sith, all of that stuff has been relegated to like myth and legend. I mean, it's like the long time ago. The long time ago is like today.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And the art of how to build a saber had been lost, except for maybe like one dude.
Yeah, Lajima.
Yeah. And he created it to where whoever holds the saber, it turns it auto attunes to their resonance in the Force, I guess you could say. And I liked that. I mean, it was definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
When that group there, minus the two people, Kara, the girl, and the one guy who was
Ethan.
The main guy that was. It was basically a giant robot.
Oh no, that's Margrave.
Yeah,
Margrave Juro.
Yeah, he. All of them picked him up, and it all turned red. It's like he's like, oh well, that's bad.
Yeah. That was very bad.
Yes.
But that was a great twist, though.
Yes, it was. And I kind of like it as like a future thing. Maybe that could be interesting to see, but I don't know. It's an interesting thing to toy with, I guess, in an Elseworlds type of situation. Basically, turning your lightsaber into a lie detector.
Yeah, right?
Essentially. It's just like, they had that and should have handed one to, like, Palpatine. Hold this for a second.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I did like was the one that was wavering. It was purple.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh, we hadn't seen that since Mace.
Yeah, exactly.
Those are the three there. I have an honorable mention. And it was an okay one. The one with the family passing down the saber from generation to generation.
Lopen Ocho?
Yeah, Lopen Ocho.
Yeah.
I thought it was Lop.
It might be Lop. I was reading, so yeah.
Yeah, Lop and Ocho.
Yeah.
And that one was interesting. It had an interesting premise that families are not necessarily
blood
strictly limited to blood relations.
Right. Yeah.
And that's kind of where I like that. It was very I don't know. Okay, it's a bunny girl.
I was gonna say
cliche, but
yeah. I was like, can I say something? The one that you're describing right now is my least favorite from the whole series.
Okay,
that is the one that I could just like chop it off. Two more will not take its place. Just go away. I did not like it. I did not care for it.
The one that I didn't particularly care for was the TOB1 episode. Toby.
Or as I like to call it, Astro Boy.
Astro Boy.
That's what Astro Boy.
That's Astro Boy. It seemed a little okay.
That one's on my bottom of the middle list, only because I like the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor looks cool.
Yeah, he was very. It would look cool, but it didn't seem to have like a trash can on his head.
Well, he reminded me of the Black Knight from Monty Python.
Except without, 'tis only a flesh wound.
Yeah.
Part, but
so the duel I really, really liked.
Yeah.
What did you think of episode 2, Tatooine Rhapsody?
That was probably one of the ones that it was kind of meh. It was a fun episode, but it didn't really. I mean, it was just okay.
It was a comedy. It was a comedy. Yeah.
It was a comedy. All right, so this is what Cal Kestis could have been. A guitar player,
right?
And a front man for a band. Okay,
that's the one.
Sure.
That's the one I said looks like My Hero animation to me. I mean, the very first opening shot reminded me of the screen grabs I've seen from My Hero. The dude with the greenish blue hair.
Maybe to a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't quite get that vibes, but
they made Boba a joke. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it was interesting, but it was supposed to be a more fun, laid-back episode, I would imagine.
Yeah. G the Hutt.
And then, now, is that Stinky? Could that be
that?
Stinky?
I don't know. I don't know. They just said that he's part of the Hutt legacy and he was a traitor. So I don't know what that's supposed to be. But if it's in the Boba and Bib Fortuna timeline, maybe.
After he gets rescued and he's spending some time after he grows up and he's
right.
like, Dad, I don't want to be a gangster. I want to be a bass player.
Yeah. So, episode 3, The Twins.
The Twins was another kind of meh one. It had a little bit more of like, I felt like a little over the top on some of the things that it did.
I agree 100%.
Yes, but it was an okay one. One of my okay ones.
That was my favorite.
That was one of your favorites?
That was my favorite. Not one of my favorites. That was my favorite.
Okay.
That was my favorite because out of all the ones I saw, if there was anything that they wanted to continue, the way that they left it off, and I love the line.
They did leave it. She's out there somewhere.
After all, we are twins, and he's looking at the twin sons on Tatooine.
Yeah.
I thought that was the best way to end that episode. Going back real quick on Tatooine Rhapsody, the main character, the Jedi character, was Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Ah, okay.
In Twins, Master was Alison Brie, and Master Kare was Neil Patrick Harris. So
Neil Patrick Harris.
I would have loved for there to be that to be a musical episode because those two can sing amazingly.
Yeah,
the Rainbow Blade. The Rainbow Blade was really cool to me.
And he did pull kind of a Holdo maneuver, sort of.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was interesting. One of the ones, I don't remember which one it was in the list, but it was the one where the one Jedi turned to the dark side.
That was Akakiri.
Yeah.
That was episode 9. That was the last one.
Oh, that was the last one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't have put that one last. I don't know. I just didn't like the way it was ended, but then again,
I liked that one.
It was definitely different. It did show the struggle if you're not truly balanced or whatever, you're not truly centered or whatever. You could be misled by visions in the Force, and they're not always what they appear to be.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact he just turned there at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have just. I don't know, but it's just me. It was an okay episode. It wasn't one that was just like, I hate it, but it was okay. I was fully expecting a fight with the Sith there at the end instead of a turn.
Yeah.
But that was expectation subversion as well.
So episode 4, The Village Bride.
That one was an odd one, but I did like the Jedi characters, at least the one, the Padawan.
Yeah, the Padawan that had to chop off her braid.
She chopped her braid off. She pulled the mask off, which apparently was only just hiding a scar.
Yes.
Like her cheek or chin or whatever. Cheek, chin. That area, whatever you call this between there two. I don't know.
Lower jaw.
Yeah, Dr. Mike, if there's a thing for that part where the cheek and the chin meet, tell us in this. Yeah, he's gonna watch this, but okay. Or if there's another medical professional out there, you can tell us what that particular part of the face is called, other than lower mandible.
Yeah, right.
But it was definitely I liked the art style in that one. I liked the way that she just we're getting a little bit more of these abilities where they stop.
Yes, and we've only seen one person do that so far, and that's Kylo Ren.
And that's like, into the future.
Yeah.
which we kind of
Every time they did a force stop of a blaster bolt or anything like that, I wrote it down because I think it's so cool.
The Twins had one. He actually stopped the stun blasts, which
Yes.
we've never seen before. We don't know what happened to them, but all the stormtroopers got thrown against the
Force
wall.
block on stun, yeah, I got it.
And then the first episode, the duel, we actually had the catching of a blade with the force like this, which it's different, but still, she stopped it and then reversed it back and blew the the gun out of the guy's hand.
Yeah. And she had a yellow lightsaber, which that we've only seen that twice now.
Yes, we've seen it
in canon. That wasn't canon, but you know what I mean.
We've seen it with the temple guards on Coruscant and other various temples across the galaxy. They have gold/yellow sabers.
Yep.
And then Rey had one.
Yep. And then Cal's is orangish yellow, depending on what you customize it to look like.
I don't know.
Well, like when I play, I do a dual wielding orange.
Okay.
So, but you can change your colors, and I think yellow was one of the ones that you can unlock.
Yeah. What is it originally like when you first use it?
When you first get your lightsaber, you're still using your Padawan blade, and it's blue.
Okay.
But you can customize it throughout the game.
Right. Okay. So.
But it's just a blue single wield. But as you progress, the one that you have to unlock, like the Master Sword. Is orange.
Okay, interesting.
Because you need that specific color blade to cut through something specific in, is it Dathomir?
I haven't played the game yet.
No, I'm trying to think the planet that, Maul and Savage are from.
Yeah, Dathomir.
There's something you have to unlock in Dathomir, and it has to take a specific blade.
Okay.
So,
but that one was one of my others that could have been on my honorable mentions list, but it had a good storyline to it. Basically, the master getting the Padawan to a point where she can do stuff on her own and see past mistakes, essentially, to a certain degree.
But see, I didn't get that. I didn't get the vibe that he was her master, only because we never saw him do anything except for sniper, and so I got more of like she was the He-Man and he was her master at arms kind of a situation, especially with the helmet.
Maybe I guess
the exploding helmet was cool.
Yeah,
but somehow he had another one ready to go.
And that was the guy. I recognized immediately his voice whenever he first spoke. It was like, "Hey, that's Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat."
Yes. I didn't write that one down, but I recognized it immediately as well.
But it was like, "Yep, this is fitting." But he's not playing a villain role. Yay! Rarely does he ever get cast as a protagonist.
Right. Exactly.
And
then in the Ninth Jedi, I forgot to tell you, Ethan was Masioka from Heroes. He played Hiro Nakamura.
Oh, okay.
And then Lajima, the Saber Master, was Simu Liu. Shang-Chi,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was writing down, because the cast was just, when they announced it, the trailer was like, with this voice and this voice and this voice and this voice and this voice, and I'm like, how? And then I watched it and I was like, that's how. That's how. Okay. Great job. I still wish that the one with Neil Patrick Harris had been a musical, but I'll take it.
Well, he should have been in the one with the band instead of.
I was gonna say Joseph Gordon-Levitt's got some pipes though. Like, if there was like a 3-name versus 3-name sing-off, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Neil Patrick Harris, I'm just saying, I would sign up for that.
Oh, and Hannah Bales would go nuts.
There was an episode of, actually 2 episodes of Glee, where Neil Patrick Harris played like the school bully to the Glee coach, played by Matthew Morrison, and they had to like compete against each other for an audition for a Broadway show. And I mean, Neil Patrick Harris can do some stuff. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't get Joseph Gordon-Levitt in musicals enough.
I don't think I don't. I think the first thing I really recognized him from, or knew him from, was probably The Dark Knight Rises, when he played the... Well...
Really? You didn't watch The Rock from the Sun? Wow.
Nope.
I
think before that was Looper, or was that after?
Looper was after.
Okay, so never mind then. I don't.
Dark Knight Rises came out in 2012.
Yeah.
Looper was in 2013 or 14.
Okay, so I didn't. You know.
And then Inception. Inception was.
Never saw it.
What? What? Are you telling me you're not familiar with the Nolan verse?
Yeah, the Nolan verse. Oh gosh.
Memento. Insomnia. Inception. Tenet.
No.
Interstellar.
I've heard of these movies. You are saying titles that I recognize.
You are saying titles.
Have I watched any of them? No.
What?
I have not.
You have homework, sir. You need to watch these movies. The way that they... This is totally off topic. The way that they influence your brain and make you perceive time and space as dimensions of their own are insane. My favorite one of all of them is Memento with Guy Pearce. It's so good.
Is that the one where he's having to go through things backwards?
Yes, with Polaroid pictures.
Right.
Yeah, that's Memento.
Okay. Yeah.
Insomnia had Robin Williams and Al Pacino. That came out in like 2001.
Wow.
I think.
Yeah, obviously had to be before Robin Williams passed away.
Absolutely. Let's see.
But
there was one between Memento and Inception. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. But yeah, Christopher Nolan, and then obviously his Batman trilogy,
right,
is insane.
Yes.
Yeah, there's like 7 or 8 movies that you need to like yesterday.
Yeah, well,
that has nothing to do with Visions.
No, it does not. Wow, that was definitely had spoilers in it for them.
Yeah.
Are you back now? You can watch the rest of the video. Are you stuck from the beginning now? Well, unless you fast forward through it all, but that was boring. I just saw us doing this and what,
and I'm just like,
But let's see. If I wanted to see a continuation of any of these stories, I would like to see a continuation of the 9 Jedi.
That was my number 2.
That was
my number 1 was the twins. My number 2 was the 9th Jedi.
Yeah, that one you can definitely, because it's set so far in the future. The whole
absolutely.
thing, it's just like we could be starting from scratch or whatever. Just to see how a galaxy that has not had these force wielders in it, or they've been on so underground that they've just been lost to time, all of a sudden start showing up again.
That would also be a really, really good introduction to Star Wars for someone that's never seen it, doesn't know anything about it, because then they're experiencing it at the same time as the characters in the story. Yeah. I absolutely agree with that 100%.
Let's see here. Is there any others?
For me, it's the twins. I could see that live action, not necessarily with the same voice characters, but live action. Start it tomorrow. That can be like the Acolyte Disney Plus series we're supposed to be getting. It's one of the shows they announced along with Kenobi and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, that's coming too. Whoo, man,
Kenobi.
And that's to the list.
Oh, sorry. We need Sam Witwer to do that because I can't do it because my voice would hurt.
Kenobi! Goodness gracious.
Oh gosh.
So
anyways,
we got. Oh goodness gracious! We have so much.
Let's see. I don't know. This is something about, maybe it's just the way they did the 2 Star Destroyers and that one. It didn't look like there was a weapon that was attached between the two. It looked like an audio jack. I was like watching this, like
I didn't get that vibe at all. I actually put.
Why do they have a red RCA jack in the between 2? What?
I have joined Star Destroyers, and I bet after they said what it was, Gemini class Star Destroyers. But yeah, no, I actually got the image. It was called the Twins, and I got the image that they were going for. That it was a joint twins.
Yes,
like,
I knew that they were going for, but
I didn't get RCA Jack. I got Jet Turbine, and then I realized, oh wait, this is supposed to be a portable, essentially Death Star.
Death Star weapon. Okay. But yeah, and I understood that when they explained it, but visually seeing it, this is like, it looks like a red RCA Jack.
Yeah.
Like on the back of something. It's just like,
yeah. It's hard to unsee once you think about it that way. So thank you for ruining the experience of everyone that needs to still go back and rewatch it. But
like I said, if you haven't seen this, why are you here? You need to watch these first. You're gonna get spoiled.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. We had a red RCA Jack in Star Wars now.
So here's the thing. Wow, this is the thing. We're not just doing because it all dropped at once. Like he said, with everything that we're doing and how busy we are, it was easier for us to do a post series. Yes. So no, this is not us talking about episode 1. We're talking about the entire show. Yeah. If you did not understand that,
look at the title of this episode. Okay, it's in the title.
Full series.
The full series.
All 9 episodes.
Yes. But
so if you're confused as to why we're not talking about
certain things,
the duel still. I mean, there you go.
Start the video over again.
And wash your brain out with soap.
That reminds me of that old thing that back in the day used to do. Moms would wash the kids' mouths out with soap when they cursed.
Oh yeah, my parents did that. My parents did that. I still remember, the feeling of the soap on the back of my teeth.
I never had that happen.
What?
But
lucky.
At some point, because I've seen it in cartoons so much that, you stick soap in your mouth, you can take up bubbles. Apparently that doesn't work in real life because physics and taste is, working against you in both of those cases. I'm just saying.
I just remember,
no, it's not just soap from the 80s that tastes horrible, okay?
Yeah, my mom used dial soap, the white dial soap, and she'd put it in, push it down, and scrape it back.
At least it wasn't the lava branded soap, the pumice.
Oh, see, I'm not familiar with that.
Ooh, okay.
I'm intrigued now, though.
Yeah, it was a more of it actually had like pumice in it, little granules.
What?
Granules of pumice.
Yeah.
in it, other than just being a soap, and it was really mostly for my grandpa had it, and then in turn my dad had it, because my dad more so because he worked as a machinist. Having all that oil and stuff like that on his hands, he had to have something that normal boring soap wouldn't take off, and you'd have to have that pumice stuff to actually.
We kept some orange glow at my house because my dad worked at Baldor, so around motors and stuff.
Yeah, it was something similar to that, but if you look up lava soap, you'll definitely.
I'm intrigued now.
You might still be able to buy it.
I want to try it. I want to do a.
It's a very
product reenactment from a generation that wouldn't know what this is, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Definitely a shock whenever you're just like, oh, this does not feel like regular soap. This feels like sandpaper.
Wow.
Like 280 grit sandpaper.
That's insane. Because I use charcoal everything now. So the fact that there's something out there with pumice stones.
Yeah.
That's intriguing to me because I like the moisturizing granules and stuff like that. So
this is more exfoliating.
This reminds me of there's an episode. It's episode 2, I believe, of Smallville, season 1, and it's about the insect boy who's molting, and he uses steel wool to scrape his skin off.
No. Nah. Okay. All right.
I'm just saying.
Let's move away now. Star Wars Visions. Are we done with that?
How was that vision for you?
Ah! Funny.
You want to wash your brain out with soap now?
Yes, with lava soap.
Bring it all back around.
Yes. So, I guess, unless there's any final thoughts from you, I don't have anything.
Give me season 2.
Or another set or something. But hey, other than that,
Yeah.
I don't really have much else. It was definitely an interesting. This is not the first time they've done stuff like this. They did something like this for Halo, back when Halo 4 was about to come out, I think, or Halo 3. I can't remember. I remember watching it. That it was like maybe about 9 or 10 episodes worth, and different studios across, animation studios from across Japan actually did like goofy little stories with. I say goofy. Some of them were more serious than others, but different individual stories of their own design.
Yeah,
that's a better way of putting it. Involving Halo, and it's not just necessarily strictly about Master Chief, but other, various different aspects. Some more about the Covenant themselves and whatnot. And of course, they did have a lighthearted episode in that where Master Chief crashes on a planet and he runs into a little kid. He keeps calling him Robot Man. And he's like, "I'm not a robot."
Yeah.
Anyways,
Robot Man is in Doom Patrol.
Yeah. Well, maybe it wasn't a Robot Man, but it keeps calling him a robot or something, like that. No, I'm not a robot. But anyways. I guess that's going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
I don't have any other thoughts or anything like that. Other than the ones I've voiced.
Right.
For now. But if they ever do something, we'll probably, depending on what the status of the channel is at the time, hopefully, it might be. I would love to get some editors or something like that to help me out.
Right.
On a lot of this stuff. That's going to be in the future thing or whatnot, but maybe we might do actual like episodical reactions as opposed to. It just depends on how things are going and how busy things are at the time.
Right.
Because things are beginning to ramp up. This holiday season
real busy.
Is going to be jammed packed full of stuff.
I'm not complaining in the context of the amount of content that we'll be getting.
Yeah.
I'm complaining as to the amount of content that we will have to be filming and then you editing.
Yes.
And oof.
Wow, yes. But, this is this fandom that we are a part of.
Yeah.
Not just Star Wars. I mean,
we do everything.
We have Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ruby. We have other things just randomly thrown in here.
Yeah.
So pizza is a fandom.
Yeah. Oh, pizza. I have some in the fridge at home.
And I have some in my freezer.
Yes.
That might be supper.
Apparently we are making supper and I have to pick up groceries.
Yes.
Well. But that being said, we have a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Please be patient with us. Stay tuned.
The Ahsoka show.
Yeah, Ahsoka's coming. Kenobi's coming. If we're talking about just strictly Star Wars, Ahsoka's coming.
Ahsoka.
Kenobi.
Boba
Rangers
Fett.
of the New Republic. Boba Fett. Mandalorian Season 3.
Mando 3. They're still doing Rangers? I thought they indefinitely put that on hold. Last I heard.
Not that I was aware of. I know that it was originally supposed to be a Cara Dune show.
And then they changed it to be more of an ensemble cast type of thing.
But then Gina Carano got bye-bye.
Well,
and so I don't know if they're going to recast and keep it or if they're just going to retool what it's supposed to be. But even if we don't get Rangers of the New Republic, we have a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline.
And
specifically Star Wars content.
If they would,
because we're getting another season of Bad Batch too.
Yes, Bad Batch, but that's probably not going to be till like
2023.
Really?
I would assume it's 2023 because they have to animate it. It takes
Not necessarily. I mean, I can see them even after season 1 finished or something. They've taken a little break, then they pick up and start on season 2. And I figure they're going to be able to have a bigger budget. They're going to have a lot more people to do it. And I think it's going to be next year, probably around the same time as this year.
So July timeframe.
Yes,
okay.
I figure it's going to be something around in there.
And then we got Marvel, which that's about to have a lot of stuff. Loki season 2, Hawkeye.
Yes.
The movies. As I mentioned in a previous video, apparently Agatha Harkness is getting her own spinoff.
It was Agatha all along.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the title. Agatha all along, and they use the same theme song.
Oh, jeez.
Because then they could just, carry up on it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, but having all said all that, it's a fun time.
Absolutely.
To be, into this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Weird behind the scenes politics nonetheless. So until the next time, whatever that may be, next video that we come up with, I'm not sure what that's going to be, but hey, future will tell. It always does. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you do not miss any episodes that we have coming out. Be sure to check out on our Patreon for videos that are not going to be on YouTube at all. Yes, the aforementioned pizza.
Yes, and barbecue.
Yeah, and barbecue. Yes, and also until next, that's stuff I've got. Anyways, bye bye and be blessed, everyone.